We will start working with Beyond Labs this week. So please go ahead and purchase from beyondlabs.com. Go ahead and hit on purchase, and we would need this package in here that has the organic chemistry labs. Go ahead and purchase that, and during the purchase it's going to ask you to download the Connect 3. Go ahead and download it. After you do this, you can log in easily by creating your username and password. And when you log in, you're going to see a page similar to mine. Make sure that you're working on the web and not the desktop. There are a couple of labs in the desktop that are not digitized, so I prefer that we will be working all on the web. After you access this page, I want you to go all the way to groups. I sent you an email, and that email has an invitation code. Please copy paste the code, hit join a group, and put the code in there and put done, so that you add yourself to our group in there so that you will be able to see all the assignments. Now, to view the assignments for the week, you can go ahead and go on the assignments. Now, for my page, I see everything, but from your end, you're going to see the experiments that you will be doing that week. So this week we have open the FTIR. This is experiment number 7. And we have 2 experiments that are open for experiment number 8, which is the NMR. The interpreting NMR spectra 2 and spectra 4. You're going to see those on your end. You're not going to see anything else. Now you can access those experiments from here or from ecampus. I really recommend that you go ahead and you access them from ecampus. Do not access them from here because I integrated Beyond Labs to ecampus, so it's easier for me to grade. And I would have all your grades in one place. So in order to access from ecampus, go ahead to the lab ecampus page in there, and let's see, for experiment number 7, you are going to have multiple things to do. Just read all of those. You will have top hat assignment, our assignment, in addition to the Beyond Labs in there. There are a couple of videos that you would need to watch for Lab 7, and these are the videos that I want you to watch. I want you to watch like a couple of videos in there in addition to how to prep IR samples. This is an IR spectroscopy notes that goes along with this YouTube video. There is the theory of the IR that you would need to understand before you go ahead and interpret any IR spectra. After you do this, then there is a nomenclature handout as well, because when you are interpreting the IR spectra, you have to name your structure, and these are rules in order to name organic structures in there. We've already talked about naming alkanes, so this one walks you through how to name alkenes, alkynes, esters, acids, aldehydes, ketones. You would need all of those. So please go ahead and read through this sheet for the nomenclature. After you do this, then you can go ahead and access the Beyond Labs assignment. Now for the Beyond Labs assignment, it is 2 parts. It's the worksheet and the workbook. But when you submit, you're going to submit both at the same time. No need to save anything in there. So all what you need to do is just go ahead and hit Beyond Labs assignment 7, and you're going to see that I already integrated the IR spectra lab for lab number 7 to ecampus. So all what you need to do is just go ahead and hit on it in there, just activate that, and you can go ahead and start the assignment. You go ahead, this is a web page, so you can type in there and fill the name of the structure, and then there's a short video, it doesn't hurt to watch. And then now we're going to interpret the IR for every single spectrum in there, or every single structure. To do this, you're going to go ahead and hit this icon. Now, once you hit this icon, it's going to open a page for directly linking it to Beyond Labs. So it's gonna open the page of the lab itself. So it's gonna be the lab itself in there, and this is going to be your worksheet. Okay, so they're gonna be next to each other in there, so that you can go in between, in and out, so that you can access both of them at the same time. That becomes handy. So the lab is going to be FTIR. So make sure that it is on the FTIR. These are the different structures in there. I don't want you to analyze all of them. All I want you to analyze is simply these structures in there. So you have to name it. This is benzyl chloride. So you go over here as an example. These are sorted in alphabetical order, but benzyl chloride is an IUPAC name. So you're going to say it, I believe it's going to be all the way at the end there. It's going to be benzyl chloride and the B. Okay, something here. Okay, here you go. So it's going to be a, not benzene chloride, it's going to be a benzyl chloride. Now, every single compound that you hit on, you are going to see its structure on the board in there. So make sure that they match. So this is going to be the benzyl chloride in there. Now, the moment you hit on the benzyl chloride, then it's going to give you the FTIR. And the reason why it gave you the FTIR, because you have it on the FTIR. And this lab is for the FTIR. So now we're going to start to create the lab book. So you're going to hit on the benzyl chloride. And for your lab book in there, you need to save every single spectrum for these compounds. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. Okay. Now, when you hit save in there, it's going to tell you that the image is saved. Saved where? This is your lab book in there. So it's going to go ahead and save it over here in the lab book. Okay. And then you're going to start interpreting these peaks. Now, because there is a place for you to interpret the peaks in the worksheet, you don't have to put the peak interpretation in the workbook in there. So in the workbook for lab number 7, I just want the FTIR spectra for every single compound. And if there is a possibility that one of the signals in there, it doesn't have a place for you to write it down, then I want you to interpret that under its corresponding FTIR spectra. Like for example, for benzyl chloride, you have 3 types of signals in here. You have the carbon sp2ch stretch. This is going to be peak number 1. In there, and the functional group is going to be for the alkene, and then you have a carbon double bond carbon stretch, and then this is the functional group here is going to be again for the alkene. The one that doesn't have a space in here to write down is the carbon sp3ch stretch. Now this is not a functional group, but we always like to interpret the carbon sp3ch stretch. In this case, if the signal doesn't have a place for you to put in the worksheet, then go ahead and put that in the workbook and type it down. So for structure, so for benzyl chloride, you have the for the benzyl chloride, you have the carbon sp3ch stretch, and that needs to occur between 800, and that needs to occur between 800 to 3000 centimeter to the -1 thing. You go ahead and you do the same thing for the second structure. So the second structure here is benzaldehyde. So you go over here, you go to the spectra, you search for benzaldehyde from here. And then the moment you search for benzaldehyde, just go ahead and get its FTIR spectra. Just press on the FTIR. It will give you the FTIR spectra. look at the peaks for the FTIR, and then interpret those and put the values in this worksheet. Okay, this is everything that you would need to do for lab number 7 regarding the worksheet. Now, so the lab book is part of your grade. So there are two things for Beyond Labs. There's the worksheet, which is automatically submitted to eCampus in there. All what you need to do is just fill it up as I showed you and submit that. And while you're working on your lab sheet, you're going to access the experiment in there, and you are going to save every single spectrum that you work with in your lab book. And this is for experiment number 7. All I need in the workbook is the FTIR spectra. I don't need anything else besides any an analyzed signal that doesn't have a place in the worksheet. You can go ahead and fill it there as we discussed earlier. You don't have to save the lab. You don't have to do anything on my end because I can access your lab book. But that save lab in there is for you guys if you want to go ahead and continue where you left off. So you can save it and then come back to it later. So that's everything for lab number 7. Please let me know if you have any questions.